Prince Harry's subtle gesture when claiming he had no support when he returned from Afghanistan hints at bitterness and anger, an expert has claimed. In his new Heart of Invictus Netflix series, which was released today, Harry admitted, "No one around me could really help." He had no support network after he returned from war in Afghanistan, and it triggered the trauma of losing his mother, Princess Diana, in another apparent sly dig at the royal family. His pointed comments came as several of the former service personnel talk in the docuseries about the Invictus Games about the mental toll of war, with Harry also being asked about how his tours of Afghanistan affected him. He says he didn't have that support structure, that network, or that expert advice to identify actually what was going on with me, after admitting he was angry when he returned from a tour of duty. He also claims that returning from Afghanistan triggered unresolved trauma caused by the tragic death of his mother Diana in 1997. When Harry was just 12, and that he only considered therapy once he was left lying on the floor in the fetal position. And according to body language expert Judy James, as Harry recalled his tough times, there was one key gesture that still shows he holds resentment and bitterness towards the situation. She told the Mirror, "Harry's motivation for adding his own story to this documentary looks complex. He might want to show empathy with all the wounded heroes taking part in the games, but then there is a lot about his body language that suggests it is still personal for Harry." The tragic music as he sits facing the camera, holding his own arm as though he is physically wounded rather than mentally, in the way his brows rise in and arch as he looks to the side as though recalling events from his past by imagining them visually, suggest a desire for pity and sympathy. He winds his hand in the air, then jerks his thumb behind him to show how the past reared up in the tragedy of 1997 created a present trauma. We're shown those sad films of the very young Harry after his mother's death as the grown man talks over in a commentary. His shoulder and mouth shrugs to suggest he is dismissive of the way that he didn't really talk about it, and he performs an evaluation ritual with his hands. There is a brief but thoughtful and quite dramatic pause as his lips suck in and his mood seems to subtly slide to one of suppressed anger. "The struggle for me was the people ... comma, which he quickly and tellingly self-corrects to, "No one around me really could help." There is a lifting of the muscle at the side of the nose and mouth in a micro gesture that suggests reflective anger. Then, an ironic smile and a lean forward towards the camera as he refers to adopting the fetal position. This clearly looks like a story that Harry relates with some ongoing resentment and even a hint of bitterness, despite having told it before in a bid to get it off his chest. He seemed to think during his spare interviews that telling his truth of the past would allow him to move forward, but this documentary might sadly suggest that hasn't happened. The Heart of Invictus series, which was first announced back in 2021, comes months after Prince Harry's other Netflix release with wife Meghan Markle called Harry Meghan. The huge hit featured a number of bombshell accusations from the couple surrounding their family life and royal connection. This time, however, Harry has kept the focus solely on his Invictus Games creation, filming scenes from Invictus Games The Hague in 2022. Prior to the launch of the latest series, Harry said, "Heart of Invictus is the incredible story of competitors brought together through service, who are now united through sport." While in various stages of recovery from both visible and invisible injuries, these competitors and their loved ones give a compelling look at their journey to the Invictus Games, in a way that commands admiration and respect. Our Invictus Games community represents some of the bravest and most dedicated individuals from 23 nations across the globe. And he even took time to surprise viewers at the premiere on Monday evening as he took to the stage at a cinema in San Diego. A clip of the Duke making a shock appearance was shared to social media showing him address the crowd. He even took time out to take selfies with those in attendance, much to their delight. The Duke first created the Invictus Games in 2013 after taking in the USA's Warrior Games. The following year marked the inaugural event. The latest games will be held from September 9 for 8 days in Dusseldorf, Germany. It has been confirmed that Harry will be in attendance from the beginning, with Meghan joining halfway through. When confirming their appearance earlier this month, a spokesperson for the pair said they were delighted to be attending.